All right, today we're tackling a real crypto enigma, a token called OKZOO, also known as AIoT. This thing kind of popped up out of nowhere, and then its value just shot through the roof. And it left everyone asking the same question. Is this a hidden gem, or just a house of cards waiting to fall? And when I say shot up, I mean it. Get this. In a single 24-hour period, the price rocketed up by 238%. I mean, a surge like that doesn't just get your attention, it makes the entire crypto world slam on the brakes and ask, wait, what just happened?
So that's the big question, right? What is really driving this thing? Are we looking at a project with some real, solid, sustainable value? Or is this just a classic case of speculative hype? Fueled by a bit of social media buzz and a ton of risky bets.
Okay, so to even begin to unpack that price surge, we have to understand what the project is actually trying to do. And let me tell you, its vision is different. It's this really fascinating and frankly pretty unusual blend of virtual pets and real-world data collection.
At its heart, OKZOO is trying to solve a pretty big problem with how we monitor our environment. Traditional sensors are often miles apart, which creates these huge blind spots in the data, especially indoors where we spend most of our time. OKZOO's big idea is to create a decentralized network powered by users to map the environments we actually live in super high detail. And the way they get people to join in is actually pretty clever. It's a simple little loop. First, you get this device called the P-Mini, which also acts as an interactive AI pet. Step 2, you just carry it around and it passively collects data wherever you are. And for doing that, Step 3, you earn AIoT tokens. It's a straightforward cycle. Contribute data, earn rewards.
Now, this whole model puts OKZOO into a really hot and growing sector in the crypto space called DePIN. That stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. And in simple terms, it's just about using crypto incentives to get people to help build and maintain real-world things. In this case, a massive environmental data network.
So the idea is cool, but what's the actual case for long-term value here? What are the arguments that this is more than just a flash in the pan? Let's dive into the bullish side of the equation.
Well, one of the strongest points for OKZOO is its foundation. See, this isn't a project starting from absolute zero. The team already has a community of nearly 12 million users from their previous apps. On top of that, they've landed a multi-million-dollar investment from MasterPay, which, let's be honest, is a huge vote of confidence from a major player in fintech.
But of course, that's just one side of the story. We have to flip the coin and look at the other side, the case for this being all hype. And this view, well, it paints a very, very different and much more cautious picture of that insane price explosion.
This quote here from a market analysis just nails the bear case perfectly. The key word is decoupled. It means AIoT wasn't just rising with the rest of the market, it was taking off into orbit all on its own. And that is a classic textbook sign of a speculative pump, not a move based on solid fundamental value.
And that speculative frenzy just poured gasoline on the fire. You can see it in the trading volume, which spiked by an incredible 725%. We're talking about a jump from an average of under $2 million a day to over $13 million. That's the kind of crazy activity that powers those almost vertical parabolic price moves.
The on-chain data also tells a really cautionary tale. A whopping 68% of all the leveraged bets on the token were longs. So what does that mean? It means tons of people were borrowing money to bet that the price would just keep going up and up. Whenever you see a market get that lopsided, it becomes incredibly fragile, like a house of cards just waiting for a breeze.
But this next number, this might be the biggest red flag of them all. On-chain data shows that the top 100 wallets hold almost the entire circulating supply. So for a regular investor, what does that mean? It means this market is highly centralized. A tiny handful of insiders could decide to sell at any moment and crash the price, leaving everyone else holding the bag.
And from a purely technical standpoint, the rally was just screaming warning. The 7-day RSI, which is a key momentum indicator, hit 91.64. Now, to put that in perspective, anything over 70 is considered overbought. So a number this high, it's deep in the red zone, signaling that the move was probably unsustainable and was at a very high risk of a sharp sell-off.
So we're basically left with two completely competing stories here. On one hand, you have a really compelling long-term vision, and on the other, you've got all these clear signs of extreme short-term hype. So where on earth does the project go from here?
Well, the team definitely isn't just sitting back. They have laid out a seriously ambitious roadmap. We're talking launching the P-Mini hardware, rolling out a second-gen watch device, building a whole super app, and even expanding into a virtual world. So they're clearly planning for the long haul. And when you look at these long-range price predictions, that tension between the vision and today's reality becomes crystal clear. These forecasts show potential for absolutely massive growth. But, and it's a huge but, getting to these numbers would require them to execute that roadmap flawlessly. It's a huge mountain to climb, and it's far from a sure thing.
Which brings us to the one central question here. OKZOO has a genuinely fascinating idea and what looks like a solid plan. The challenge is, can its real-world utility grow fast enough to catch up to a market that's already hooked on the hype? The technology is impressive, but the market? That's a whole different animal.